the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach, and fitness expert, Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance. This is your chance where I sit down with today's tops in business, mindset, wellness, and success to help you master disruption and thrive.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
He's a UC Berkeley trained mechanical engineer turned groundbreaking personal development innovator. After spending a decade and $100,000 battling his own anxiety and procrastination, he leveraged his problem-solving skills to create his full liberation technology. His company has revolutionized overcoming personal barriers, developing a process that frees clients from their limitations within just 6 weeks. With a stunning 90% success rate, what's more, clients only pay after seeing undeniable, lasting results. Join us. I am thrilled to welcome to the podcast Daniel Packard. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. You look very professional, which you are. It's not as though you went to the Halloween store and got the professional Halloween outfit. I think you are just a professional. Thank you for having me. Hello to your audience. And yeah, I'm here because I know that your audience is already successful and they not only want to be more successful, but more fulfilled. And I'm going to give them a perspective that they haven't heard before that's really going to help them get what they want faster. I'm an engineer and I love efficiency, and I want to share it with your audience.
Me too. Who doesn't like that? I mean, let's jump into the topic about why all the Band-Aids? Why do you think most people feel better only if they just manage an issue and they don't fully get rid of it?
Well, it's a great question, and there's a lot of answers. But what I want to first explain to people is what you just pointed out. Most of what's available in the trillion-dollar industry of personal development, psychology, and spirituality, it's $1 trillion a year, and it doesn't usually solve things quickly. So
Right.
they don't get great results. I'm not saying there's not value in it. I'm not saying there aren't well-intentioned people. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if what we want is actual freedom from what holds us back, this $1 trillion, I call it the improvement industrial complex, it doesn't get great permanent results. Band-Aids. Now, Band-Aids, hey, they have their place. If you got nothing, if you're bleeding, Band-Aids. But why is that generally what's sold? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, the people in this industry, they're not focused on solving it. Like, they're okay with what they're doing. They learn something probably from someone else, or they experience something that helps manage or give awareness or a tip or a tool. And they're like, hey, okay, I'll share this with the world, make some money. Not bad. They're okay with that. And on some level, that's fine. Everyone's here to do a different reason. Not everyone can go around innovating a complete new way of doing things. But they're complacent. They're not really focused on a solution. Because for one, when I went looking for a solution, like a real solution, and I asked people, hey, can I be free of the procrastination? Can I just be free of the anxiety? They sort of looked at me like, that's just not how we do things. And that's not the issue. The issue is they didn't have an issue with it. But I'm an engineer, and growing up, my dad is a physicist, and he told me results matter. And when I had my procrastination, anxiety, perfectionism, I spent $100,000, Lisa, $100,000.
Right.
And I was still in pain. I was still insecure. I was still anxious, and I wasn't free of it. So I wasn't being the person I wanted to be. I was doing okay, but I wasn't living the true life that I knew I could be living. I was watching other people live the life that I wanted. And I saw it's because everything that's being sold is just management, but you're not free of it. So it's super inefficient. So I think when I started my own company called Full Liberation Technology with the mission to see, could we reverse engineer a process such that if you work the steps, you get the results, you're free of it. But I was trained as a mechanical engineer. It's a certain training. It's a certain mindset to solve things, to innovate things. It's hard. It took 8 years and over $1 million in research and development. And that's why I think solutions aren't more common. A, most of the industry isn't focused on a solution. B, if you did want to do a solution, it's really hard. So if you have a good little business selling apps or tips or insights or coaching that just manages things, good for you. But in my heart of hearts, when I was in pain, I wanted to be free of it. And that's what we wanted to do, is bring to the world, was something, no more Band-Aids, just full life upgrades. And because we care so much about results, as you said, when we work with people, you do not pay at the beginning because we haven't gotten you free of this. And that's my measurement of success. I think it's what people really want. You only pay at the end when what you're struggling with is gone and not coming back, because my dad said results matter. And when you're in pain, that's what you want.
I like it. It seems like obviously people want to stay in business, and it is such a big business. I didn't realize how many trillion. So they want you to keep coming back. So they don't want a solution. And that's part of the problem too. But what are the challenges? What are just some of the mistakes people make when they're trying to change?
Well, when they're trying to change, and this is what I want to bring your awareness to your audience, is your audience is buying all this stuff and trying all these retreats and books and apps, everything that I tried, and it's not solving anything. And then what happens is we're not aware. There's not awareness that the experts are a little bit complacent, regurgitating old stuff. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, but when I tried all this stuff that was just Band-Aids and didn't get better, what happened? I thought I was trapped. I thought I was broken. I thought it was my fault. I thought it was genetic. I didn't know. And so people's attitude of being free of this, it's like they don't think that's even possible. So one of the biggest limitations to change is what's available on the market. What's available on the market is symptom management. And it's a good business model, but it doesn't go to the root cause and create real change. So that's why your clients aren't changing, or not your clients, why the world isn't changing faster, because what's available on the market isn't designed to get you to change and go to the root cause. So if you're listening to this, if you still have anxiety, you still procrastinate, you're still perfectionism, and you're beating yourself up, oh, there's something wrong with me. What's wrong with me? I'm not a good student. No, there's nothing wrong with you. It is not your fault. It's that the experts that you've trusted don't understand what you're struggling with enough to address the root cause quickly. The other obstacle is when we developed this program, Lisa, and we went to market, we thought, this is incredible. We're solving things permanently in 6 weeks, and you only pay at the end when you have measurable results. We thought this was just going to spread like wildfire, just because who doesn't want to be free and who doesn't want no risk? And everyone said, it's too good to be true. You can't do that. And I was like, no, we can. We have the data. This is what we've been doing. But people's are conditioned to believe this has to be complicated, that you can't be free of it, or that it has to take a lot of time. So when we innovated something fast, simple, people just think it's too good to be true. And so to the people that we work with are usually skeptical, but they're open-minded, because the value proposition that you could be free of this is so good. They're like, I mean, if it works, it's worth it. And since there's no financial risk to try it. But the real obstacle right now that we're bumping up against is that people have lost a bit of hope and they feel a bit trapped and broken because everything they've tried has failed them. And I'm here to tell you, the reason we spent 8 years working on this is so that you don't fail. I know the pain of trying a program or an app or a retreat, and you try, you're better for a while, and then you fail. You feel worse, and we're here to help people feel better.
Yeah, I love it. Well, now that we've highlighted some of the challenges, some of the problems, and we're in such a crisis right now of mental health, it's really gotten worse since 2020. I want to get into the solution because I had the opportunity to listen to one of your trainings and I found it very helpful and insightful. Do you have some solutions you want to share with our audience?
Well, I'm going to explain to you how a solution is possible. I wish there was something like quick, like a tip or a tool. And unfortunately, that's kind of the problem. What's on the market are these tips and tools, insights, understandings, and that's not going to solve this. So, of course, we're in a short time frame. You're like, give us a tip or give us a tool. And I'm anti-tip, I'm anti-tool because that's what's on the market, and that leaves people stuck. Is the Band-Aids. So, but I'll show you what's necessary such that you can be free of the anxiety and you can be free of the perfectionism and you can have real solid, not just manage your mental health, but really be truly emotionally healthy. That's what I am. Like this excitement you see, this is not cocaine. This is like the passion and purpose of somebody who's very healthy from using our own tools. So the first thing I want to explain to your audience of what you need to go to the root cause of what you're struggling with that's not sold, okay? So anytime you want real deep change, whether it's a garden, a house, a dentist, a surgeon, or a mechanic, do those people usually have one tool, or do they have multiple tools to get the job done?
I would say to fix something, multiple tools.
Yeah. When you go to the mechanic, they got a whole bunch of like mechanic tools that are meant for cars. It's a specialized toolkit to get one specific job done.
Right.
But when we go looking for help with anxiety, procrastination, perfectionism, all that, usually we get one tool or technique from this coach, one insight from this teacher, one breakthrough from this retreat. And it's not bad, but it's not what you need. What you need is a complete optimized toolkit that goes to the root cause and gets the job done. And because your audience hasn't gotten that, that's why they're stuck. Because it would be like if you hired a mechanic and he walked out and they said, okay, I got a wrench. You'd be like, I don't think you can get the job done, because they can't. You need multiple tools that are designed to work together. And so what we developed is a system that gets you all those tools. And that's what you need to really be free of the anxiety, is a complete toolkit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think that obviously, there's a certain aspect of therapy where I like coaching better because it seems like I'm more solution focused like yourself. I think the difference between therapy and coaching is, complain about the thing rather than solve the thing. And I think getting to the root cause sounds like it makes sense. Is there more you want to unpack about that?
Well, we'll get to the root cause, and I'll give your audience a very insightful, simple understanding of the root cause that will help them understand why it's possible that you could be free of this. But first, I want to explain the other important thing that you need if you want to be free of something that is not given, and it's a problem. And I want your audience I'm not here to disparage the improvement industrial complex. I'm here to educate your audience what I wish I knew before I spent $100,000. So even if you have everything you need to get the job done, that's not enough to get efficient, consistent results. Like, let's say you had a friend who tasted a chocolate chip cookie and they say, Lisa, I want to make chocolate chip cookies.
Right.
Now they know nothing about baking. So you hand them everything they need: flour, water, eggs, a bowl, an oven, a spoon. You give them everything they need, but they don't know how to bake. Are they going to be able to make a cookie?
Not a good one.
No. Why?
Because they don't have a recipe.
They don't have the recipe. They don't have the instructions. Like, what do I do with the flour? Do I stick it in the oven? What do I do with the water? Do I drink it, then smash an egg? Like, you're not given the instructions what to do, when, in what order, in what repetition, for how long. Usually you go to a therapist, psychologist, a coach, and they give you an insight and they're like, here you go. And it's like, oh, okay, but that sets you up for failure. There's better instructions on how to make IKEA furniture than there is how to be free of this stuff. So what we spent 8 years developing was not only the toolkit, but laying it out really simple steps. Here's what you do on this day. For how many repetitions, for how long. Do that, then move on to here, and move on to here. So there's no confusion, no getting discouraged. It's built like an inner gym. You work the steps and you get the results. So your audience hasn't gotten that, and that's why they're stuck buying Band-Aids, because they don't have the instructions of what to do and when. So again, it's not your fault. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's that the experts did not set you up for success. You need a complete toolkit with a set of instructions that have been optimized to be simple and easy to do. Otherwise, you will fail. Now, here's the key piece to understand, is that this is even solvable to begin with. Yes, we have a system to do it. What we saw is that everything that everybody's struggling with, and I mean everything, anxiety, procrastination, sabotage, perfectionism, people-pleasing, low confidence, all of it is not individual problems. Right. It's all symptoms of one root cause.
Right. So it's something from your upbringing, then you're saying?
No.
Okay.
That's one of the theories that's taught. And it's not to say your upbringing doesn't have an effect on you. It's just to say that understanding, you won't get to the root cause quickly because it's very hard to travel in time and change the past. So the root cause that's causing all these symptoms is that deep down, people don't feel safe.
Wow.
And when you don't feel safe, it creates fear.
Fear holds
right.
us.
So if you're feeling really unsafe and really afraid, they call that anxiety. But let's say you're a perfectionist. Are you a perfectionist, or is there a fear that if I make a mistake or I don't get it right, I'm afraid to make a mistake, and thus, as a coping mechanism, I like things perfect? Can you see that?
Yeah, I think, you're afraid because maybe something you tried before didn't work, like we all do those things. So that holds people back, I would say, with like, oh, I'm not going to do it again without making sure it's perfect this time.
Exactly. But if you call it perfectionism, you're going to be chasing the symptom instead of the root cause, which is the fear. Same thing with procrastination. It's huge, especially with business people. You're not a procrastinator. You didn't catch a case of the procrastinations. It's that you think, once I'm done with this thing, what if it's not, I don't get the approval, and it's scary if I feel judged. So you're procrastinating to avoid finishing and feeling the fear. Make sense?
Yeah. I mean, do you have any other steps that you want to walk us through? Let's say we're fear-based, is holding us back. Anything else you want to share about your system?
Well, I want them to understand why they're afraid, because your audience is savvy. They already know fear is an issue. Right. You don't need me to tell you that.
Obviously, yeah.
But what we noticed is in the whole industry, you had face the fear, get over the fear, push through the fear, imagine the fear isn't real, see the fear as a story. But what nobody was doing was getting rid of the fear. And so the engineer and me said, couldn't we just get rid of the fear? Then the symptom goes away and then you're free. So we had to figure out, where's the fear actually coming from that makes this solvable? And I'll show it to you. Okay. We're going to do a little role play here.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Okay. This is interactive. So when I talk to you, Lisa, I'm also talking to your audience. Okay. So this is going to show you where the unsafety and fear is coming from that nobody is seeing. That's so dead simple. You're going to be irritated. Nobody figures this out sooner. Okay. So this is answering the question, why do we feel unsafe and why do we feel fear? It's not the outside world. Okay. So let's say we're friends. And if I'm a good friend to you, I'm considerate to you, I'm thoughtful, I'm kind, I'm caring, I put you first, your experience matters to you. If I treat you as a good friend for a while, will you feel safe around me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. It's automatic. It's mechanical. And that's because there's a link between care and safety. Because when I care for you, you trust me. When you trust me, you feel safe. When you feel safe, there's no fear.
Correct.
Okay. So now let's say, hypothetically, I start to treat you poorly. I don't care about you. I put you last. I judge you for how you feel. When you come to me, I don't care. I know what you need, and I don't care. I put everybody else ahead of you, and I actually know what scares you, and I do it anyway. If I treat you that way for a while, Can you see that after a while, you'll feel unsafe around me?
Yes, I've been there, felt that.
Yeah. So there's a mechanical, keyword mechanical, not psychological or spiritual, mechanical link between care and safety and fear.
Wow, yeah.
So in this role play, we're in a friend relationship, but is it fair to say that you are in a relationship with yourself?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And is it fair to say that you sometimes aren't always a loving, caring friend to yourself?
Yeah. I think I could be hard on myself. We all can.
Yeah. Now you and your audience already know that. They know they're not always great to themselves, and your audience already knows that they're afraid. That's known. What nobody was seeing that we saw is there's a direct mechanical link between the care and the fear. The fear is coming from that every day, totally unknown to you, there's 29 ways that we're not loving to ourselves. And when we do that, it accumulates every day, leaving us feeling unsafe in our own bodies. That's where the fear is coming from. The outside world kind of makes it worse, but the fear is coming from not your past. It's not coming from what's happening right now. That can create some stress, but that limiting fear that I don't feel safe is because 10 to 30 times a day in little tiny ways we don't see, we don't feel safe from within. Here, I'll show you one that people don't catch. People know the criticism one, right? Oh, I beat myself up. I'm hard on myself. They know that one. Here's one that people know they do, but they don't know it's making them afraid. So let's say it's deflecting compliments. Have you ever done this or seen anybody do this one?
Yeah, I've done it all.
Right. So you know you do it. People know they do it. I used to do it. But what we don't know is how it makes us feel from within. So let's say we're friends again, and you do something, and somebody goes to appreciate you. And then I jump in and I say, no appreciation for them. No love. Do not see them. No, they get criticism when they mess up. They do not get love when they do well. If I treated you that well, can you see how it would leave you feeling a little unsafe?
Yeah, people want to be around a better experience of that.
Yes. So the key is this fear that people feel, the fear and unsafety that's underneath the anxiety, the procrastination, the perfectionism, the low self-esteem, the low self-confidence. That's all symptoms of the fact that a little bit every day we aren't being loving to ourselves and we feel unsafe from within. But it's just little behaviors that are accumulating over time. Now, that's the bad news. The bad news is nobody's seeing this. So the bad news is every day, people 10 to 30 times a day are being a little bit unkind and unloving to themselves, which leaves them feeling unsafe from within, which creates fear, which then creates the anxiety, the procrastination, the self-doubt, et cetera. That's the bad news. But if you're paying attention, if we want to solve this quickly and efficiently and reliably, why is it good news to realize that the root cause is just little behaviors that we do every day?
I love it. It's such an unusual way to approach the self-sabotage or procrastination, the anxiety, which I have felt all of those things, to realize that we have to be better to ourselves.
Exactly. It's so simple. If you're in a relationship with someone else and you treat them poorly, you're going to see symptoms. And it never occurred to us that we're feeling the symptoms of not being good to ourselves. But the reason it's so great is in 6 weeks, we have a system with all the tools and the really simple steps. And all you do is we guide you to take better care of yourself. And then you feel safe from within. The fear goes away. And then here's the best part. You're free.
Wow.
Like, think how much better entrepreneurs would be, salespeople would be, speakers would be, if they got what our program gets, which is you wake up every morning and you just feel safe and solid from within. How much better would everybody be at business if they just woke up feeling safe?
100%. Like, I think it's wonderful. And where can people find more of Daniel Packard if they want to be able to actually solve this, not talk to someone about it, not whine about it, but what if you've gotten to that point, we all get there, that breaking point where you just want to do something about it and have it just stop?
Well, that's exactly who we work with. is people who have tried a lot of things already. They have awareness, they have tips, they have tools, and it's better, and you're functioning and you're doing okay. But you didn't come this far to just be okay. There's a version of you that you can't access. And part of it is because you spend all this time managing these symptoms instead of being free of them. I'm free of this stuff. I don't care about what anybody thinks of me. I can't procrastinate if I tried. I can't sabotage. And I'm filled with, and it's just my natural default state. You're more open-hearted, you're more authentic. So if you have anxiety and you've tried things in the past and you want to be free of it, we can help you with that. If you procrastinate and you've managed it, but you want to be free of it, we can help you with that. Perfectionism, we can help you be free of that. Caring what people think of you, gone. 6 weeks. If that sounds good to you, and the fact that you only pay at the end when you're free of it, which nobody offers. Like, do you realize how cool that is? We back up our results. It is. Thank you. If you're intrigued by that, go to my website, danielpackard.com. And there's a couple resources. Some are some free resources to learn more about what we do, little baby steps that you can take. Or if you're interested in our program, you can learn more about it, the cost. And if you're interested, you can book a free call with me. I'll learn more about you, what you want, and we'll see if the program's a good fit. But again, you got to be skeptical, but open-minded, because what we're promising sounds too good to be true. But trust me, it is not. And also, you have to really be motivated by real freedom, to be really authentic, really open-hearted, really get what you want. Those are the people we love working with.
Well, Daniel Packard, that sounds so good. Not too good to be true. Thanks for being a great guest on Whole CEO with Lisa G.
It was an honor to be here, Lisa. Thanks for having me.